You can't tell these players are as poor as what they are performing. The reason why constantly are losing games and getting poorer and poorer is because the manager refused to play to their strength. Even when you play them to their strength, they're not even great enough. But I understand that you can still make a wholesale change in 1 or 2 summers. But right now, why don't you adapt? It doesn't mean you're not more a principled man, but you need to adapt. And the average teams, immutable teams in the Premier League, can beat top teams on their day. Manchester United 1, Brighton 3. Woo! I love it. Shout out to Manchester United fans in my comment section telling me, focus on your team. Focus on your team. Why are you talking about Manchester United? Focus on Arsenal. At least Arsenal are not relegated to the second page of the league table. We are still second. Whether I like it or not. See, I've been saying it. See, I don't understand this obsession of defending Amorim, even though we can say that he is making huge mistake, and I'll tell you why. Before I do that, some of you might not like this, but like the video. I understand you don't like me. You say, look at a small channel, you should focus on us. Why are you talking about Manchester United? Because we are rivals. Because football is a competitive game. So I have the right to talk about Manchester United as much as other my content creators have the right to talk about Arsenal. So you can't tell me I don't have the right to talk about Manchester United. I will talk about Manchester United. It's a competitive game, whether you like it or not. So can you like the video now? Can you subscribe? And can you turn on your notification bell right now? Please do that. Yes, you have to do that. Back to Amorim. See, Amorim is just getting too much grace. He's getting too much grace. How can you be playing 3 at the back? Who can be 5 at the back sometimes when the players you have cannot play 3 or 5 at the back? See, I'm not saying you should change your principle, but sometimes based on what you have at the moment, you adjust. Sensible people adjust what they have at the moment. He is refusing to adjust, and I'm seeing a lot of Man U creators saying, no, it's not the manager's fault. The manager trying to implement his way of playing with the players who can't do what is asking them to do. It's like Arsenal fans or Arteta trying to get Partey to play excellently as a right back. He is not a right back. Can he do a job, but at a certain level, but can he do the job excellently at optimal level? He is not. He can't do that job. My players are struggling playing conventional 4-3-3 that you're used to. They are struggling with 4-3-3 they are used to. You bring in a manager who want to stray away from that to a complicated 3 at the back sometimes, stroke 5 at the back, then Bruno being taken out of his conventional 10 to a right 10 or left 10 that you guys call it, and you think it's going to work, it's not going to work because they're even struggling with what they know, let alone complicating it. And somehow, this manager is getting extensive grace. How? Make it make sense. I'm not saying you should not support your manager, try to make things work. But obviously, we can see tactically, this manager is making a lot of errors, turn blunders. But Man U fans are overlooking it and they are piling on their players. I'm not saying the players don't have a huge blame. I understand the players are not good enough. You need better players. But until you get to the transfer window in the summer where you can wholesomely change the players, you have to work with what you have now and adapt to their strength. And the manager is adamant he is not going to adapt to the strength of the players he has at the moment. That is the bane of my argument. I'm not here to come and throw Manchester United fans. No, I'm here telling you that look at it from that perspective. This manager will plunge you guys into the relegation battle. We have 1 or 2 wins, yes, but consistently, you guys are losing games consistently, whether you like it or not. Sorry about the code. You guys are continuing to lose games. You can't tell me these players are as poor as what they are performing. The reason why constantly are losing games and getting poorer and poorer is because the manager refused to play to their strength. Even when you play them to their strength, they're not even great enough. But I understand that you can still make a wholesale change in 1 or 2 summers. But right now, why don't you adapt? It doesn't mean you're not more a principled man, but you need to adapt. And the average teams, immutable teams in the Premier League, can beat top teams on their day. They have good players. They have good players. I'm seeing too many creators defend this manager over, even though you can see clearly he is making huge mistakes. I refuse I've been one shouting the Man U players are not good enough, but I refuse to believe they're as poor as this. I refuse to believe the Man U players are as poor as this. See, you guys were heavily criticizing Ten Hag, rightfully so, but this has gone worse than Ten Hag's tenure. Let's be fair. Just because he's new, and you guys want it to work at all costs, you're going to defend this. You are going to defend this. This is preposterous. You can't defend this. The manager is not going to give you guys what they want. You are hoping, and hope is a dangerous game sometimes. It is a dangerous game. How many teams have come to Old Trafford and dominate you extensively with this your new formation? How many teams? Teams are coming to Old Trafford to have a jamboree. Teams are coming to Old Trafford to have a carnival. Teams are coming to Old Trafford to play their game. Even Southampton, even though you guys won that game against Southampton, any reasonable sense-minded fan will understand that you guys were lucky that Ahmad came in for you guys, because Southampton should have won that game. They're at the bottom of the league and they dominated your team. Yes, the game is about result. You got a smash and grab, but holistically, you can tell you didn't deserve that victory. That's why this game, you losing to Brighton, any reasonable fan, whether Man U fan or not, can tell it's not a shock anymore. It's not a surprise. And this manager is still adamant that he's going to play these players knowing that they can't play this formation. They can't. These players can't do it. It's not rocket science. They can't do it. They can't do it. It's just stubborn for being stubborn's sake. Somebody in the technical part of the man, you have to call his manager to order. The players he has cannot do what he's wanting them to do. That doesn't make him a bad manager. That is why smart people know when to adjust and adapt. But this man is refusing to adjust and adapt, and the consequences for Man U might not be the right one. Back to the game, Brighton deserved their victory. They're the better team. They scored the good goals. Man U huffed and puffed. They had their moments. But overall, holistically, Brighton deserved the victory and they were the better team. So, it is what it is. Some of you might insult me for this stream, for this content, but this is an objective content if you look at it and you want to be reasonable. Right? If you want a content that will pander to your emotionality and feelings, maybe this is not the one for you. But if you want some logic, some being reasonable, you want to look at things from a reasonable perspective, you want to be analytical in the right way, not just looking for laughter and a bit of gaslighting or a bit of confirmation bias, go elsewhere, respectfully. So like the video on your way out, please subscribe if you're new here, and make sure you turn on your notification bell, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye for now.